on the practice questions?
Yep, let's do the practice questions. That'll be great.
Okay.
I'll make you a host, by the way, but I'm gonna start it and then I'll make you the host. Oh, okay, perfect. I think we're live on it. Okay, we are just doing some math practice problems here for counting to calculus and all our students and families that are following the journey. So Mr. Michael and Mr. Chinonso are here with me. We're live streaming this on YouTube and we're going to get started. Give us feedback on any improvements you would like to see in the future. If there's any other types of problems you want us to tackle, let us know. But we're going through systematically all of Algebra 1 and 2 back to back. So welcome to the journey. I'll hand it to Mr. Michael and Chinonso, and we're just going to do practice problems. So this is going to be for a few minutes till whenever Mr. Michael and Chinonso are done, and we'll be done for today. So welcome, everyone. Over to you, Mr. Michael.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. So today I'll be having Mr. Chinonso on the call. We're going to be taking turns in solving almost all of these questions here. So we start with one-step equation. This is 1.1, practice 1.1. So I'll do question 1, then Mr. Chinonso, you do question 2, if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Thank you.
All right, so that'll be nice. So we start with question 1. Question 1, we have v plus 9 is equal to 16. So this is an equation. Of course, I'll quickly want to talk a little bit about equations and expressions so that you understand why it is called one-step equation. If you have a mathematical statement like this, v plus 9, and maybe you have another one like v plus 9 equal to 16, like the one we're about to solve. This first one is called an expression, okay? While the other one is called an equation. So, of course, all this stuff you see are called mathematical statements, right? They are not biological statements, they are not economical statements, they are all math statements. And so then when you have them without the equality sign, you want to call it expression. And when you have it with the equality sign, it is called equation, if that makes sense. So with that understanding, we have the equation v plus 9 equal to 16. And we want to find the value of v that satisfies this given equation. So naturally, you're thinking of what number will you add to 9 that gives you 16. So we don't want to start thinking of those numbers. We can solve this problem algebraically and get the answer real quick. So what we need to do here is to collect like terms. We want to get the negative 9 from this position. We want to get rid of the negative 9 for this position. So I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. The reason why I'm doing that is I want 9 to leave the left-hand side so that you know this side is called the left-hand side. If you raise up your hand, you will see that this side correlates with your left hand. And after the equality sign, everything you have here after the equality side is called the right-hand side. I'm sure it correlates with your right hand when you raise up your right hand. So now we want to get rid of the positive 9 in the left-hand side. So I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. And you see, plus 9 minus 9 is 0. So this guy will cancel out. So in the left-hand side, we're just left with v. And in the right-hand side, we have 16 minus 9. So what is 16 minus 9? 16 minus 9 is what? Somebody tell me what 16 minus 9 is. So if you're joining us, you can put your answer on the comment section. 16 minus 9, you tell us what the answer is in the comment section. Okay? So 16 minus 9 is 7. So the answer to this question is 7. V is equal to 7 as the answer. If you have question, just let us know in the comment section, and then we're going to review all your questions in the comment section and make sure we attend to that. All right, Mr. Chinonso, you can take the next question while I clear up the screen.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael, for that wonderful solution. So I'll be solving question 2, and question 2 is 14 is equal to b plus 3. So in solving a one-step equation, all you need to do is to isolate the unknown. So in this case, b is our unknown. So we want to look for a number that immediately we add that particular number with 3. It gives us what we have on the left-hand side, which is 14. So to isolate the unknown, which is b here, all we have to do is to subtract 3 from both sides. So this is saying 15 is equal to b plus 3. So I want to isolate the unknown, that's b. So first, like I said, I subtract 3 from both sides, just as Michael had done. So of course, so 14 minus 3, that would be 11. And then, so that would be equal to B, and then 3 minus 3, which is 0. So this satisfies this particular equation because if you add 3 and 11, it gives you 14. So you want to treat an equation with the understanding that there must always be a balance. So what you have on the left-hand side must be equal to what you have on the right-hand side. So you want to manipulate, you want to tweak numbers, play around with numbers to ensure that there is a balance. So it's very easy to solve equations, one-step equations. Thank you so much, Michael.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was really very insightful, and I'm sure you all learning. So I'll take the next question, and that will be question 3. If you're ready, and if you're joining us on the live stream, you can go ahead and solve question 3 and put your answer on the comment section. If you're just joining us on the live stream, we are working on one-step equation. So I'll take question 3 now. So question 3, we have x minus 11 equal to negative 16. Of course, we want to find the value of x that satisfies this given equation. Just like Mr. Chinonso said, you want to find the value of x that cause a balance to these two sides of the equation. So now let's go ahead and do the basic thing we need to do. We need to collect like terms. By so doing, we need to get rid of the negative 11 from this left-hand side because we cannot remove 11 from x. They are not like terms. So we want to take the 11 to the other side of the equation. So doing that, we have to add 11 to both sides, right? So the whole reason is just to get the negative 11 out from the left-hand side so that it go to the right-hand side, and then we can now do the proper arithmetic. So from here, we have negative 11 plus 11 will give us 0. So in the left-hand side, we're just having x. And the right-hand side, we have minus 16 plus 11. So, and that will be minus 5. So if you put in the value of minus 5 into this equation that was given to us, you'll be having minus 5 minus 11, and that will give you minus 16. So that is the answer for question 3. Like we said earlier, if you have questions, if you have the answers, go ahead and put it in the comment section and to join us in the class. So thank you, Mr. Chinonso. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so I'll be walking through question 4, and here we have negative 14 is equal to x minus 18. So again, to solve this, we again want to isolate the unknown, which is x in this case. So we want to collect like terms. We want to make sure we have like terms and look for that particular number that once we add with negative 18 gives us a balance with what we have on the left-hand side. So I would want to isolate by adding 18 to both sides of the equation. So on the left-hand side, I would add 18, and also on the right-hand side, I would do the same thing. So for equations, there's a rule, whatever operation you perform on the left-hand side, please make sure you perform that same operation on the right-hand side because it will give you an equivalent equation. So for example, we can multiply both sides of this equation by 2, and it will also still give us an equivalent expression. For example, having negative 14 multiplied by 2 is still equal to all of this expression, x minus 18 multiplied by 2. And so having that understanding, you can do the same thing by adding the same value to both sides, or even subtracting the same value from both sides. So that's just what we are doing here. So back to the question we're solving. So I would add 18 to the left-hand side to give me, of course, that would be 4. And of course, my equation here then, remember 18 minus 18 is 0. So we have x is equal to 4. So the solution to this particular equation would be 4. So once I have 4, replacing x in the equation, I would get a balance. So for an equation, you won't just get a balance because what you have on the left-hand side must be what equal to what you have on the right-hand side. Yeah, thank you so much, Michael.
That is a nice one. Thank you very much for that explanation. Like I said, if you're just joining us now, you can always join us again tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be having another live stream section again every day from Monday through Friday. So make sure you want to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell so that every time we go live on this very channel, you'll be the first to be notified. So my question, I'll be taking question 5. And question 5 is 30 is equal to a plus 20. I mean, this one is just very easy. You can just even see the answer without solving this one. I want to quickly show you guys something that I feel like is going to help you understand how to solve equations so that you think the way I am thinking or even much more better. So I see this problem as those kind of problems you do when you're in kindergarten class. You have some kind of open box plus 20 like this. Maybe you don't like it this way around. You can also turn it around to have open box plus 20 equal to 30. So what would be in this box? If I want to ask you that question, what do you think will be inside this box? Such that when 20 is added to it, you get 30. That number is going to be 10. I mean, it's just so very easy to just say the number. 10 plus 20 will be 30. But when it comes to solving algebraic problems, we don't want to do that, right? We want to do some kind of algebraic manipulation. And that's why we do the collecting like terms, adding both sides, and all the rest of them. So what do we do here? We want to get the value of A and we want to really isolate A from the right-hand side. We want to make A to be all by itself on the right-hand side. Remember, I told you earlier, all of these people you see before the equality sign is called the left-hand side. And everybody you see after the equality sign is the right-hand side. Just like I said, your left hand, your right hand, if you are raising them up, they correlate. So right about now, I want to get rid of 20 from this left hand side because it is not even possible to add 20 to A. They cannot add up. I mean, it's not possible to add up these guys. So we need to get out 20 from this right hand side to the left hand side. So how do we do that? We have to subtract 20 from both sides. So we subtract 20 from here, and we also subtract 20 from here. So when you do that, you can now see that in the right-hand side, 20 minus 20, of course, that is 0. And in the left-hand side, 30 minus 20 is 10. So 10 is equal to A. You can also say that A is equal to 10. Just like the way we solve it, this is more like arithmetic. This is more like arithmetic. And what we are doing here is algebra. When you introduce variables to this kind of problem, we call it algebra. And here is just simple arithmetic. Thank you very much, Mr. Chinonso. Yeah, Mr. Chinonso, you can take the next question. That will be question 6. All right. I think Mr. Chinonso will be right back with us. I would go ahead and take question 6. If you're just joining us again, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on your notification because you're going to be seeing us often come on this channel for a live stream. And if you really want to get a one-on-one tutoring service, you can always reach us on our website, countingtocalculus.org. Okay, countingtocalculus.org. All right, so let's do question 6. Question 6, we have -1 plus k is equal to 5. Remember, we are just still working on one-step equation, okay? We want to see how we can solve for problems like this. So what we need to do here, we want to get the value of k that will satisfy this given equation. So that means we need to get rid of the -1 from the left-hand side. And how do you even get rid of the -1 from the left-hand side? You really want to add 1 to both sides of the equation, right? Because -1 plus 1 will give us 0. In fact, while we are even adding 1, we'll call this stuff additive inverse. So if I have 2, for instance, the additive inverse of 2, let me say the additive inverse, the AI. Oh, this is not artificial intelligence. This is additive inverse. The additive inverse of 2 is -2. If I have 5, for instance, the additive inverse of 5 is -5. Because this is a number that when it's been added to 5, you get 0. Okay? Then if I have -3, for instance, the additive inverse of -3, of course, you can guess what the answer would be. It is +3. So that is what you want to know about additive inverse. So if you look at this one right here, this -1 right here, the additive inverse of -1 is +1. That is the reason why we are adding 1 to both sides, because that is the additive inverse of the -1 we have here. Okay? So -1 plus 1 will give us 0. And in the left-hand side, we are just left with k all by itself. And 5 plus 1 in the right-hand side will give us 6. So the value of k that will satisfy this given equation is 6. So if you have the answer, you can already put it on the comment section. Okay? All right. That will be all for question 6. Mr. Chinonso, you have question 7 to solve. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, thank you. I see the answer. Question 5 is 10. Yeah, that's correct. Thank you for that one. That is very, very correct. So at this point, we are solving question 7. So question 7 is the next one on the line. If you want to try question 7 and put your answer on the comment section, that will be very, very fun. So we have question 7. It is x minus 7 is equal to -26. So you want to solve this problem. We are on question 7. You want to solve this problem and tell us your answer in the comment section. That is fine. So we'll just give you a minute to try and you tell us your answer in the comment section. So your time starts now. You just have a minute, 1 minute. If you're just joining us on the live stream, we are actually solving question 7 and you still have 1 minute to put your correct answer, your answer in the comment section. And after 1 minute, we'll do the solution together and we'll move on. So we still have about 45 seconds remaining. All right, 10 seconds remaining. If you have your answer for question 7, you can just put it on the line on the comment section. All right, so it's about time I tell you to stop writing so that we now do the solution together. Question 7. We have x minus 7 is equal to -26. Remember, we just want to find the value of x that will satisfy this given equation. And if you understand algebra, you know that you cannot remove 7 from x. It's not possible to remove 7 from x. So that's one of the reasons why we need to get rid of this -7 to the other side of the equation. And how do we even do that? Remember, what's the additive inverse of -7? That is +7. So we're going to add 7 to both sides of this equation. So when you do that, -7 will cancel with positive 7. So negative 7 plus 7 is 0. So in the left-hand side, we just have x on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, we are having negative 26 plus 7. So what would that be? I'm still checking on the comment section. No answer yet on the comment section for question 7. All right, so we have negative 19. So that is the answer for question 7. The answer is negative 19. All right, so the next question would be question 8. So we have question 8. We have negative 13 plus p is equal to negative 19. So I'll give you another 1 minute to try. And once you have your answer, you can put it on the chat. And after 1 minute, we'll come over to do the solution. So your time starts now. All right, it's about time you stop solving. Now we're going to do the solution together. So we have question 8. It says negative 13 plus p is equal to negative 19. So in this problem, we want to find the value of p that satisfies this given equation. Like you already know, if you've been following us from the very beginning of the class, you know definitely that we cannot add p to negative 13. It's not possible. We cannot add both of them together. They are different terms, right? So you really want to collect like terms. And now doing that, that means you want to take negative 13 to the other side of the equation. So how do you even do that? What is the additive inverse of negative 13? That is plus 13. So that means we're going to be adding 13 to both sides of the equation. So negative 13 plus 13 will give us 0, right? So in the left-hand side, we are just having p all by itself. And negative 19 plus 13 would give us negative 6. So the correct answer for question 8 is negative 6. If you have your answer, go ahead and put it on the comment section. So that is that for question 8. If you want to write down the solution, you can just take a screenshot because we're moving on to the next question. All right, so let's do question 9. So we have question 9, we have 13 is equal to n minus 5. 13 is equal to n minus 5. Now, this is algebra. We're working today's class we are solving problems on one-step equations, okay? For those of you who are joining the live stream, one-step equations. So how do we find the value of n that will satisfy this given equation? How do we even do that? We're having 13 is equal to 9 minus 5. Now, it makes sense to get rid of negative 5 from the right-hand side because it's not even possible to remove 5 from n. I mean, they're not like 10. You've heard me say this over and over again. They're not like 10. So we cannot remove 5 from n. So all we need to do is to get rid of negative 5 from this right-hand side. This here is the right-hand side, and all these people here are the left-hand sides. Okay, so for us to get rid of the negative 5 from the right-hand side, we need to add 5 to both sides because that's the additive inverse of negative 5. And that is what we take negative 5 to 0. So negative 5 plus 5 would give us 0. So in the right-hand side, we just have n all by itself. Now, in the left-hand side, we can easily add 13 and 5. So 13 plus 5 will give us 18. So 18 is equal to n, or you may want to say n is equal to 18. So the value of n that satisfies this given equation is 18. And if you think of it like 18 minus 5 will give us 13. Okay, so that is why the correct answer is 18. So if you have questions, you can still put it down in the comment section. And if you want our one-on-one tutoring service, you can reach us on countingtocalculus.org. You can check the description of this video. You're going to see our website, and you just log on the website and um, drop your consign. If you want a one-on-one class for SAT, GRE, high school math, middle school math, just reach us and we'll get to you. All right, so that is that for question 9. Let's move on to the next question on our list. That will be question 10. So question 10. Here we go. So we have 22 is equal to 16 plus n. 22 is equal to 16 plus n. Just as usual, I'm going to give you a minute to try solving this problem all by yourself. And after 1 minute, I'll come over, we do the solution together. So your time starts now. Good luck. All right, you have 10 seconds remaining. So if you have your answer, I'll put your answer on the comment section. All right, it's time up. Well done, well done. Let's now do the problem together. So we want to solve question 10, and question 10 is 22 is equal to 16 plus m. So we want to find the value of m that would satisfy this given equation. By now, you already know what to do. If you've been following the video from the beginning, you already know what to do from this point. But then, how do we even solve this problem and get the value of m? Remember, this is our left-hand side, and this is our right-hand side. I just have to say this because I'll be making use of this word when we begin to solve this problem. So in the right-hand side, we're having 16 plus m. And you know you cannot add m to 16. They are not like terms. So you want to collect like terms. You want to take this positive 16 to the other side of the equation. So how do you even do that? You want to now subtract 16 from both sides. That's the only way you can get rid of 16 in the right-hand side. Okay? So doing that, that would be, you subtract 16 from both sides. So you have negative 16 and negative 16 over here. So we have in the right-hand side, 16 minus 16 will give us 0. So we're just having m all by itself, right? We're just having m all by itself. That's the reason why we are taking 16 from the right-hand side to the other side of the equation, okay? So if you have question about it, let me know in the comment section. So the next we want to do is we want to subtract 16 from 22. So 22 minus 16 will give us, that will give us 6. So 6 is equal to m, or you want to say m is equal to 6. So the value of m that will satisfy this given equation is 6. And if you think of it like this, 16 plus 6 as m, that would give us 22. You see, that makes sense, right? So the value of m to satisfy this given equation would be 6. So that is about that for question 10. Now, we want to now take it a little bit forward. We want to be doing some other operations, which is like division and multiplication. So let's do question 11. So right about now, we're having question 11. We have 340 is equal to negative 17x. Now, this one is quite different from all of the questions we've been solving earlier. It's quite different. But before we start solving this problem, I want to just brief you or show you some things you need to know before you start solving this kind of problem. Now, for instance, if I have 2x is equal to 10, for instance, the relationship between 2 and x is multiplication. So when I say 2 times x, that will give us 2x, okay? So the relationship between 2 and x is multiplication. Now, you're asking yourself, 2 times what number will give us 10? And let me just show you over right over this side. So 2x equal to 10. In the world of arithmetic, it can also be like 2 times what number will give us 10. So you already know what that number should be. 2 times what will give us 10? That is going to be 5. So in other words, we want to solve this problem and get 5, right? Because 2 times 5 will give us 10. So I want to show you how you can solve this problem algebraically instead of doing the arithmetic, which might be a little bit stressful some of the time. So how do you solve this problem algebraically? 2x equal to 10. The idea is that we want to get the value of x, and for us to get the value of x, we need to get rid of these 2 in the left-hand side. Then how do we get rid of these 2 in the left-hand side? Well, I'm going to show you how to do this problem in two different ways. The first one, 2x equal to 10, and the second one, we have it right over here. Now, because this is multiplication, what is the multiplicative inverse of 2? What is the multiplicative inverse of 2? Remember, the first question, the first 10 questions we solved, we're talking about the additive inverse, right? Now, in this case, what is the multiplicative inverse of 2? Now, let me show you. If you have 2, the multiplicative inverse of 2 is 1 over 2. Because 2 times 1 over 2 will give us 1. We're going to discuss all of these properties of arithmetic in our next class. So what's the multiplicative inverse of 3? The multiplicative inverse of 3 is 1 over 3. Now, let's do some other problems so that you see this stuff clearly. What's the multiplicative inverse of 2 over 1? Or maybe 2 over 3, for instance. The multiplicative inverse of 2 over 3 will be 3 over 2. Now you see what we are doing. This 2 is the same as 2 over 1. So we're just kind of like flipping these numbers. That's exactly what we are doing, just flipping them. So 3 is the same as 3 over 1. So when you flip it over, you have 1 over 3. That's the multiplicative inverse. 2 over 3, when you flip it over, you have 3 over 2. That's the multiplicative inverse. Now, look, let's come back to the problem. 2x equal to 10. What's the multiplicative inverse of 2? That will be 1 over 2. So you want to multiply this equation by 1 over 2. So when you do that, you have 1 over 2 times 2x is equal to 1 over 2 times 10. So now you see that these 2 can cancel out these 2. So in the left-hand side, you just have x all by itself. And that's the reason why we multiply both sides by 1 over 2, because we know that when you multiply the 1 over 2 by its inverse, you're going to get 1. And that is the reason why we are doing that. So in the right-hand side, 1 over 2 times 10 is the same as 10 over 2, which is 5. And that is what we got when we do the arithmetic way. So the other way you can also solve this problem is for you to get rid of 2 from the left-hand side, you divide everybody in the equation by 2. You know, I want to get rid of 2 in the left-hand side. So it makes sense to divide both sides by 2. I cannot just, whatever I do in the left-hand side, I must do it in the right-hand side. You know that? Yeah, you see, when we solve the problems at the very beginning, when we subtract 2 from both sides, when we want to subtract 2, we subtract it from both sides. So at this point, I will need to divide 2 on both sides of this equation. So when I do that, I'll have 2x divided by 2, and I have 10 divided by 2. So of course, the 2 can cancel out. So you have x all by itself, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So you tell me, which of this method do you prefer? Is it the multiplicative inverse or just dividing both sides by 2? Well, for me, I would advise you to make sure you learn these two methods because they would going to play a very important role as we continue in this class. All right, that's nice. So let's solve question 11. we have 340 is equal to minus 17x. We want to find the value of x that will satisfy this given equation. In fact, what we are looking for is minus 17 times what number would give us 340. What is that number? When you multiply minus 17 to it, you get 340. So we are going to see that in a moment. So what do? We have to, if you're making use of this method, dividing both sides by the coefficient of x, in this case, you're going to divide both sides by negative 17. Let me write it down here. Divide both sides by negative 17. So when you do that, you have 340 upon negative 17 in the left hand side, and in the right hand side you have negative 17x upon negative 17. So in the right hand side, you can just cancel out the 17 and the negative sign so that you have x all by itself. And in the right hand side, in the left hand side, I mean, 340 divided by 17 will be negative 20. So, or you can also say x is equal to negative 20. So what this thing means is that when you multiply 17 by negative 20, that should give you 340. You want to try that and tell us the answer in the comment section, fine. Another way you can solve this problem using the multiplicative inverse is you multiply both sides by the multiplicative inverse of negative 17. What's the multiplicative inverse of negative 17? That would be, 17 is the same as, negative 17 is the same as negative 17 over 1. That would be negative 1 over 17. So you can multiply both sides by negative 1 over 17, and you still end up having x as negative 20. And that's your answer. So if you observe, we've just started doing dividing both sides and multiplying both sides by the coefficient or the negative or the multiplicative inverse. If you need more explanation, please let us know in the comment section. So we are done with question 11. All right, Mr. Chinonso, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Thank you so much. It's been an awesome one. I had to
Yeah.
monitor the live, and it's coming on excellently.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming around, and thank you so much for logging back in. I'll leave you to show us how to solve question 12 and maybe up to question 14, if that's fine for you.
All right. That's great. That's perfect. Okay, so for question 12, so we have 4r is equal to negative 28. So to solve this is pretty straightforward here. So we want to at all costs isolate the unknown, which in this case is r. So to do that, I'll just divide through by 4. So dividing through by 4 gives me, of course, this is 4 divided by 4, which is 1. So we just have a r is equal to negative 28 divided by 7. So this is pretty straightforward. So whenever you have a term, so it's like saying 4r's is equal to negative 28, and you want to get the value of a single r. So you need to divide what you have on the right hand side by 4 to give you the value of a single r. So that's the solution to question 12. So for question 13, we have negative 9 is equal to n all over 12. So this is hand side just a whole number, and on the right hand side we have a fraction. So a lot of students get a little bit challenging, but to make it very a little bit easy, you can also rewrite the equation to look somewhat like a fraction on both sides. You could also say negative 1 divided by 1 is equal to n all over 12. And of course, you can cross multiply if that makes a lot of sense, and it's very easy for students to just always apply. So you cross multiply and then you have n. So you are multiplying by crossing. So you see this arrow here and then this other arrow. So we are saying 1 multiplied by n, which is n, and then -9 multiplied by 12. So this is one way to solve these particular question. And I'll also show you another way of doing that. So -9 multiplied by 12, that should be negative. Yeah, thank you so much. Exactly. Thank you so much. Negative 108. So let me just erase this and use another method. So another easy way to solve these that students may find very helpful is to say, okay, so I want to multiply, I want to isolate n. So another way of doing that is to multiply both sides of this equation by 1/12. So like I say, 1/12 multiplied by what I have on the left-hand side, which is -9, is equal to again, what I have on the right-hand side, n/12 multiplied by that same value. That's 1, sorry. So that would be just 1 all over 12. Oh, sorry, I think I'm mixing things up. So that would just multiplying through by 12. Sorry about that. Remember that you want to take out 12. So that would be, I'll multiply the left-hand side by 12. So that would be 12 multiplied by -9 is equal to n/1. Again, n/12 multiplied by 12. So this cancels these out, and then I'm left with n, which is what I have now on the right-hand side. I've successfully isolated n, then 12 multiplied by -9, which is -108. So again, this is another way of solving this particular question. So I'll move on to question 14. And so question 14, we have 5 all over 9 is equal to b all over 9. This is quite interesting. So we have the same denominator on both sides, and that signals a lot. Yeah, Mr. Michael, you want to speak about that?
Yeah, I just like the question. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just making a lot of sense. I'll allow you to just go with that one. I'll allow you to go with it. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Thank you so much. So again, well, it's very easy. I don't even know if I need to solve because most times once you have the same denominator, applying the same principle on both sides of the equation would definitely just take out the denominator. For example, if I multiply both sides of this equation by 9, so multiply the left-hand side by 9, so that would be 9 multiplied by 5 all over 9 is equal to, now again, what I have on the right-hand side, which is b all over 9 multiplied by 9. Now, take note, this 9 cancels this 9 out, and then this 9 here also cancels this out. So we're left with 5 is equal to b. Now, so when you have the same denominator, it's worth noting that the numerators will just be the answer. So by merely looking at that question 14, I could tell that the answer would be 5. But I just needed to solve it to lay the foundation and make you understand this. So it's very easy to solve question 14. So if you have any further question, you can feel free to put your comments on in the comment section, and then we'll be glad to respond. We'll keep an eye on the comment section to make sure we answer your questions. If you need further clarification, please feel free to reach out to us. Michael and I, we're more than happy to respond to you and give you individualistic responses and feedback. Thank you so much. So am I to proceed, Michael?
Yeah, if you don't mind, you can just go ahead and show us
Or
some more
or all right.
solutions.
So okay, great. So I'll just also walk through 16. Sorry, that will be 15.
Yeah,
So
15.
15 we have, yeah, so that's 20V is equal to negative 160. So pretty straightforward. I'm looking for the value of V such that once I multiply um, that value by 20, I would get 160. So I want to think of a number that I multiply by 20 to give me negative 160. So to get that, all I need to do is to divide through these equation by 20. So again, so just having 20 here. So 20 divided by 20 gives me 20V divided by 20 gives me V is equal to negative 160 divided by 20. That would be 8, negative 8. So another thing I may just want to chip in here is that whenever you either multiply whenever you get a negative number, you just have to retain the number, then divide the positives. So I had said 160 divided by 20. Of course, this cancels this cancels this. So I have my negative 16. So I can just say 16 divided by 2, which is 8, then retain the negative sign. The reason is I always find many students getting confused when they see negative numbers. Don't allow the sign to confound your thinking. Just go ahead and understand that the sign is just to give us the direction, but the magnitude always remains. So for question 16.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, Mr. Chino. So before you begin solve question 16, sometimes some students find it also difficult to simplify problems like this. For instance, if we have the negative or the denominator, like for instance, we are dividing both sides by negative 20, and we're having 160 right over here. So at this point, we may have to divide everybody by negative 20. So we divide here by negative 20, we divide here also by negative 20. Now they are struggling. How do
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
a denominator? Would you want to talk about it a little bit, please?
All right, yeah, thank you so much. And again, this is something that happens, and a lot of students struggle with these. So, just it is the same rule. The same rule applies, and I just want to emphasize that here. So again, the students, I would encourage you to just go ahead, divide. So, for example, we have so negative on the left-hand side, we do not have so much of an issue because the negative signs cancel out themselves both in the numerator and the denominator part. But coming to the right-hand side, you find that the numerator does not have a negative sign. So just go ahead, perform the division. So in this case, I'll just say, so 160 divided by 20 is 8. But because I already have a negative sign, I have to bring it. So irrespective of whether the negative sign appears in the numerator or denominator, provided it's not double, it's just appearing once, it has to appear in the answer. Yeah, so that's students, you have to take note of that. It's very, very important, and a lot of students struggle with that. So it's great. Thank you so much, Michael, for bringing that up and helping our students understand that principle.
Yeah, thank you
So
very much.
great. So I'll just proceed with the next question we have, question 16. And of course, in question 16, you will notice that we have that's negative sign appearing on both sides of the equation. So we have a negative 20x is equal to negative 80. So very, very straightforward. So to answer these, you just want to divide through by negative 20. Negative 20. So in this case, we have the negative signs appearing on both the numerator and the denominator. on both the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So it's very straightforward. They can always cancel out themselves. So cancel themselves out. And then we're left with x is equal to 80 divided by 20, which is equal to 4. These are very pretty straightforward. We trust that as we have been answering all these questions, they have been able to, help you learn some of the principles, the procedures for answering these kind of questions. Please feel free to put in the comment section if there are new methods you've learned from our methods, or if there's any other method that would also be beneficial to other students, please feel free to put them in the comment section. So thank you so much, Michael. I can see question 17, so I'll just respond to that before we move to either we'll slide to the next questions. So for question 17, we have 340 is equal to 20n. Again, this is very, very straightforward. And to answer that, we'll just perform the same operation and get the answer to that. Very, very easy. So again, I'll just divide through. Remember, I want to get the value of n. So I want to use any means possible to isolate n. And the very easy way for me will be to multiply both sides of the equation by the inverse of 20, which is the coefficient of n. So the coefficient of n is 20. So you use the inverse to multiply both sides. So that will be 1 over 20 multiplied by 340 is equal to 20n multiplied by the inverse, just to ensure that I successfully isolate the n. So this cancels these out. So I'm really left with my n, which is equal to now 340 divided by 20, that would be 17. Of course, this 0 cancels this 0. Then 34 divided by 2, which is 17. So the answer to question 17 is 17. That's quite interesting.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. 17 is 17. That's good.
Yeah.
I think it was intentional. I'm just sure it's intentional.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much,
Yeah.
Mr. Chief. That was very insightful. Question 17. So the answer to question 17 is 17. I hope nobody forgets that. I don't think I will. So I will do question 18, and I'll do question 18, and I think we'll close the meeting here on question 20. So when I do question 18, Mr. Chinonso will do 19, then I do 20, and then we can call it a day. So like we said earlier, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe so that whenever we come live again on YouTube, you'll be the first to be notified. Subscribe to the channel, put on your notification bell so that you get notified when we come live on the channel. So I'll do 18 and we do 19 and 20 and we'll call it a day. So question 18, we have 1 upon 2 in the left hand side, and that is equal to a upon 8 in the right hand side. So by now, you must have learned what is left hand side and what is right hand side, and you must have also learned how to cross multiply. So if you see this problem, I think one of the easiest way to go about solving this problem is just to cross multiply. I mean, that is just the easy way to solve this problem. So if you cross multiply, just like the arrow is moving, you want to multiply 1 by this one down here. So 1 times 8 is 8. And next you want to multiply 2 by a. So 2 times a is 2a. Now, one thing I want to deviate a little bit. One thing about multiplication is it's a very interesting operation, okay? It's a very interesting arithmetic operation. It is called binary operation because it combines two things to become one. Now, let me tell you how it works. If I have multiplication, it does two things basically. If you're multiplying two things that are different, let's say a times b, all it's going to do is to just combine them for you. A times b times c, that will be what? ABC. I like the multiplication stuff. It combines them all together for you. But then, when you're now multiplying stuff that are the same, like a times a, Now you want to remember the laws of exponents, right? We had this class some weeks ago with our SAT students. So A times A, this time you're not going to tell me the answer is AA. No, the answer will not be AA. You're going to add the exponent when they are multiplying. So you kind of have like A squared, if you remember. So when you have something like A times A times A, it will not be A, okay? It's going to be A to the power 3. So we do this stuff in the exponential class. We had exponential class some days ago. So we discussed the laws of exponent, and these are one of those laws. So that's one thing about multiplication. I like that so much. Okay, that is why when we do 2 times A, it will be 2A. You see, just join them together for us. And now, what do you do for me to get the value of A? Very simple. You want to divide both sides by 2. Yeah, because you want to get A all by itself. So you want to get rid of 2 from here. So you divide both sides by 2. So you have A is equal to 2A. You divide here by 2. You divide these people 2 by 2. Of course, the 2 will cancel out. So you have A all by itself. And 8 divided by 2 is just 4. So if 4 is equal to 8, it's also the same as A is equal to 4. So the value of A that will satisfy this given equation is 4. I'm sure you understand how we solve this problem. I mean, like I said, cross multiplying seems to be one of the easiest way of solving this kind of problem. Another way you can think of solving this problem is this. Let me quickly show you that before I allow Mr. Chinoso to take on the next question. I have 1 over 2 is equal to A upon 8. By now, you must have understood that for me to get rid of 8, I really want to get A all by itself in the right-hand side. So I need to just get 8 away from this denominator. So it makes sense to now multiply both sides by 8. Like you know, the coefficient of A here is 1 over 8, and the multiplicative inverse of 1 over 8 is 8. So if I multiply everybody by 1 over 8, by 8, sorry, let's see what that will look like. Let's multiply everybody by 8. Let's see how it's going to look like. So I multiply here by 8, I'm also multiply here by 8. Now, what do you observe? This 8 here in this left-hand side can cancel this 8 at the denominator. That's the whole reason why we're multiplying both sides by 8. Okay, so now you see you have A all by itself. And now come to the left-hand side. You can see these 2 can divide 8. 2 divide 8, how many is it? You have 4. So 4 times 1 is 4. So you have 4 in the right-hand side. In the left-hand side, sorry. So 4 is equal to A is the same as A is equal to 4. Okay, so that is that for question. What question is that? Question 18. So it is not like the one, Mr. Chino. So question 17, we got 17 as the answer. And question 18, I was
Yeah.
expecting to get 18 as the answer, but it's
Yeah.
not always the case, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, so you can continue, sir. Question 19.
Yeah,
Okay, I want
thank
to start.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I'll just solve question 19, which is pretty straightforward again. So we have 16x is equal to 320. So to solve this, all I need to do, remember Mr. Michael had just explained to us on the multiplicative inverse. So when we divide through, for example, we want to isolate x. So we're saying we just divide through by 16. So what we practically do is to, or what the main thing we are doing is to multiply both sides by the multiplicative inverse of the coefficients of the unknown, since that's what we want to do. So, so we're saying, for example, we're saying 1 all over 16 multiplied by 16x is equal to 320, also multiplied by the multiplicative inverse of the coefficient of the unknown, which we want to isolate. So of course, that would be 16. So again, 16 cancels 16 here, so we're left with x. X is equal to 320 divided by 16. So that's 32 divided by 16, that's 2. So that's 20. So the value of x in this particular equation is 20. Thank you so much, Mr. Mikey, for bringing that as the concept of multiplying through by the multiplicative inverse of the coefficient for this kind of questions, because they really help students in solving them with precision and accuracy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the clarity and the explanation. Really, really insightful. we have question 20. That will be the last for today. And if you're just tuning in on this channel, you're welcome to Life Academy. We help students scale up their maths in their math skill. We help them improve in their grade. And also we do online tutoring service. Okay, we have a one-on-one online tutoring service. We teach math for middle school, high school, and also we teach SAT. And we also take A-level mathematics. So if you're in school, you're in university or in college and you're struggling with some of those math courses, no problem. Just reach out to us. Our when you check the description of this video, you're going to find our website. Click on the website and then you'll get an admin that will reach out to you. So that is it. So 20 will be the last for today. Like I said, if you're not subscribed, kindly go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Put on the notification bell so that whenever we go live again, you'll be the first to be notified. All right, so let's do question 20. Question 20, we have k upon 13, and that is all equal to negative 16. Here in this problem, we really want to get the value of k. And I like the way Mr. Chinonso explained this stuff. You know, when you see k over 13 in the left-hand side and you see a whole number in the right-hand side, you'll be like, oh, some students struggle with this kind of problem. So I like the way you say, just to make things balance, you can just put 1, because when you put any number over 1, man, you've not changed anything. Yes, every number can be expressed as over 1. So you've not really changed it. So just to create a balance so that it looks good on the eyes, right? Now from here you can just easily cross multiply if you like that method. I mean, I'm going to show you how we can go about it, or maybe Mr. Chinonso will take us through the other way to go about this problem and we'll close. So from here, if I want to cross multiply, which I feel is very easy to do, I'll have to multiply k to this number. And once I'm done with that, I'll multiply 13 to this number. So k times 1 is k. Any number times 1 is k. 1 is just like a mirror. When you look into the mirror, you see yourself. So anytime you multiply anything by 1, you're always going to get back that number. So k1 is like a mirror. Okay. So k times 1 is k, and 13 times negative 16. Sorry, I have to look that in a calculator. 13 times 16. 13 times 16, that would give us 208, right? 208. But because we are multiplying 13 by a negative number, that is going to be negative 208. So don't forget that. So that will be the answer to this problem. But before I allow Mr. Chinonso to close out with the other method, I really want to explain why whenever I'm cross multiplying, I am always multiplying from this guy to this side, then I multiply from here to here. You know what? I see some students do stuff like this. K upon 13 equal to negative 16 upon 1. And they do like multiplying 13 and this first to get minus 208. And then they multiply k and 1 to get k. Of course, you see we got the same answer, right? But now I don't want to do that way because you might not remember when you start solving inequalities. Yes, when you start solving inequalities like maybe k, sorry, k over, maybe let me use a smaller number because of this stuff. K over 2, maybe it's greater than 5, okay? Now, see what is going to happen now. See what's about to happen. For those of you who like to cross multiply the other way around, I think I've told you how to cross multiply. You want to start cross multiplying from this first number, this one here. So you want to start doing k times 1. I mean, whatever is here is what the first number is. This times this first, then before you start multiplying with this and this one. So I will show you why. Let me show you the correct way of cross multiplying. The correct way. I'll write the correct way. So this is over 1, right? So let's cross multiply. This times this, right? So k times 1 will give us k. Then we have greater than. Then 2 times 5 will give us 10. So the answer is k is greater than 10. Now let's see the wrong way of cross multiplying, the wrong way. So we have k over 2. Sorry, this time is greater than 5 over 1. So if you now cross multiply the wrong way, you want to start cross multiplying with 2 and 5. 2 times 5 is 10. And then you now say k times 1 is k. You see, 10 is greater than k and k is greater than 10. Are they the same thing? They are not. They are not. If you want to rewrite this expression, this inequality, such as k is beginning, if 10 is bigger than k, or if 10 is greater than k, it means that k is less than 10. So you see, the first problem, we got k is greater than 10, and the wrong way of solving this problem, we got k is less than 10. So please take note. You don't want to cross multiply with these two first. You want to cross multiply with this one right here first, whatever is that value there. It might be a number, it doesn't matter. It always want to start cross multiplying from that one because of the concept of inequality. All right, so that is about that for question for cross
Oh,
multiply.
awesome. This is very, very insightful, Michael. Thank you so much for bringing it up for our students.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Okay. Are we done, Mr. Chino? So you want to share something for us?
Yeah, I think we're done. Thank you so much. We really appreciate the students and everyone who connected or who will watch this video, and we look forward to hearing from them. You can always drop a comment in the comment section. Subscribe, open the notification button just to ensure that once we have our videos, you can always be the first to watch them. And Michael and I will be recording a couple of videos in the coming weeks and even months. And so just keep an eye to that. There are a lot of things you would learn how, and you would also master mathematics. We're excited to join you in all of these. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will see you in the next live stream. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.